Right, for you guys that can't hold on, don't have any patience, want to know exactly what my views are, film's shite. The only reason you'll be hungry for this film is if you're hungry for shite films. Anyway, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not long back. Earlier on I went and saw the Hunger Games, and you're probably wondering, why is he doing a review at 4 o'clock in the morning? Well, it's because I will have fucking forgotten it by the morning. The film was absolutely shite. There'll be spoilers in this as well, don't you worry. The film was a pile of shite. Basically a poor man's battle royale, so you know what? Don't waste your time going to see it. It was like two and a half hours or something, and you're better off just going to see Battle Royale. So anyway, I'll tell you the reasons why I didn't like this film. Main actress, she was alright, she was good, she was decent. As a matter of fact, actually, she caused one of the most interesting debates amongst me and my friends on the way home, because we were trying to work out whether we thought she was attractive or not, because she was kind of there was bits where they dolled her up a bit, but on the whole she was a bit pedestrian. Rest of the cast, I mean, you had people like Donald Sutherland and oh no, I can't believe I forgot, Woody Harrelson, right? Both in the film. Like, Donald Sutherland didn't have anything to do. He was playing like the Prime Minister in this post-apocalyptic future kind of oppressive society, and he came along and he's doing a couple of little witticisms and important social commentary, so to speak. He said about 4 or 5 things in the film, and he wasn't in it for the rest of the film. Now, obviously he was meant to be an underlying character, but he was totally wasted in it. Again, same with Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson was on board as kind of like the mentor, but he had quite a bit of screen time and he was quite, kind of involved in terms of what was going on in the film. But again, totally wasted. They could have made him a much better character. And although he was around for a bit and he did do a lot of stuff, I did just kind of get the opinion that he was a bit bored and he'd been in better films. The film was a 12A in Britain. I don't know what that is in America. I think it's PG-13 or something. So I was kind of going in thinking, oh, the kind of level of violence will be quite low. And, it wasn't too bad for a 12A. They got a lot of it across. But again, watch Battle Royale. It's much more brutal and realistic. And that's a reason to go and watch that film. I don't know why I keep talking about that. Because this film keeps dragging me back to it. The whole time I was watching it, I was thinking, I went with about a few friends of mine. And, most of us had seen Battle Royale, and as soon as we came out, we just said, Battle Royale, but shite. So yeah, what else? In terms of other redundant characters, at the start of the film, we were introduced to the main character. I've already forgotten her name, girl with the brown hair, and she's kind of knocking about with this guy who seems to be the love interest, As soon as she goes away, he only really appears basically kind of pouting at the screen going, oh, I hope she's okay, I hope she's, oh dear, oh, she's getting up to mischief. But basically he does fuck all after that, and she picks up another love interest from someone that she kind of like, that lived in her village as well. So he was totally a pointless character, and all the way up until the end, you just kept seeing him pining at the screen. I thought, what the fuck's the point of that? The whole idea is they're living in this place where there was a civil war, and basically of the places that lost, there was 13 places, right, and out of them, as kind of a tribute to the other side that won, they have to send out like one girl and one boy every year, I think it is, as a tribute, right? So there's 13 districts, 26 people get sent out. And basically there's always a big hullabaloo because it's like, oh, don't send my son, he's got a bad leg, well, there's no actual examples of that, but obviously everyone was greeting because their kids were going away, and fair dues, you would be a little bit upset. I'm drinking Beck's, if anyone's picked this up. I know Beck's is an absolutely shite beer, wouldn't have chosen it, but someone left it in my fridge, so I'm just getting fired into it. So a lot of redundant characters. To be honest, it wasn't a badly put together film, it was well executed. Again, it kind of had this over the top futuristic vibe. Everyone was wearing like neon suits and, like combed back, dyed hair, and it was all a little bit fucking out there, but not in like a really kind of cool, quirky way, just in a kind of like, we better make these people look futuristic. It kind of had a Logan's Run vibe to it, the world that they were in, except it wasn't quite as camptastic or fun as Logan's Run. I paid over in Britain £6 to get into this film, which isn't a lot. I used my student card even though I'm not a student anymore, because I'm a rebel. So yeah, £6 is quite a lot considering I, like I said, already own the DVD for Battle Royale. Let's see what else there is to say about this film. There's a lot of kind of like redundant things that are brought in the film, much like the characters. For example, they make a big thing about, oh, you've got to get sponsorship. So it's basically like this TV show that they're in, right? And everyone's got to survive. And only one person can be left. Oh, like Battle Royale. So basically, they're getting watched all the time by cameras, and depending on how much people like them that are watching them, depends on whether or not they'll get what's called sponsors, which is people paying money to basically send in food and aid and stuff like that. They don't really make a big thing about that. There's 2 points in the film where it comes in, one where she burns her leg, and one bit later on where she has to save her new love interest. They have to send medicine for her, but you never see any capsules going to the rest of the people, and the other 25 people, although most of them get killed at the start, just seem to kind of mill about until various points where they meet up with her. 1 or 2 people die, they go away, come back, and they just keep doing it, rinse and repeat, until it's basically her and this other guy left. So yeah, it's kind of like there was no real kind of, like sense of danger from the other group of people as well. There was one guy that was put across as a bit of a baddie, but in the end he just ended up greeting, which was kind of a, they're obviously meant to be poignant and go, oh look, even this guy that was kind of hard is broken under all this, but really it was just kind of a point of, oh well, you've taken the only kind of semi-threat away. But yeah, you never saw them getting the benefit of the sponsorship, they never saw them getting sent something, that caused more bother, like a different type of weapon or something like that, So that kind of got a bit silly. There was a massive massacre at the start, where basically that guy that was talking about, the one that was greeting at the end of the film, basically and some of them ran off into the forest at the start, and the rest of them ran into like this kind of storage locker in the middle, and that was full of food and supplies and weapons and stuff. And basically he went in and basically just killed about 6 or 7 of them, right? And then the rest all ran away. Now you got this kind of opinion that he was obviously in it to win it, and fair dues. If everyone else is trying to kill you, survival of the fittest. But basically, the next time you see him, he's hunting down our leading lady, Cadis or something, I think it is. Something like that. And she's hiding up a tree, and the rest of them turn up later on, and he's all of a sudden picked up like 5 or 6 people in a group. Now, I can see him making maybe a couple of partnerships, right, to tag along with him, but not like 5 or 6 people. This guy was clearly the alpha dog running around doing stuff. If these other people had come up to him, fuck knows how they approached him, because they'd just seen him kill about 6 or 7 guys, and they're all going to come up and go, oh, do you mind if we just join your team? I no bother, let's form a team when there's only meant to be one of us surviving. That's a good idea. So yeah, I could have seen him banding together with a couple of them, but he only really got together with, he got together with about 6 or so that was a fucking nonsense. I'm obviously rambling a bit, I haven't scripted this at all, but I would say it's not a horrendous film. It does try to be something different, but at the end of the day it's not bringing anything new to the table. It is just kind of a bit more of a kid-friendly battle royale, and as it was coming out, one of my mates said that this is apparently a trilogy. I'd need to check that out, so there may be 2 more films. You may well go to it and think, oh, he's kind of overreacting a bit, it's not that awful a film. And it's not a fucking terrible film, it's just been done before. And it's boring. I mean, it's like 2.5 hours long, as I said, and it just doesn't bring anything. There's so many kind of interesting elements to it, like this kind of civil war that went on and stuff that's kind of pretty much brushed over and kind of only vaguely looked at. It would have been nicer for them to flesh that out a bit and give a bit more backstory to the characters, because there's a scene where she hallucinates and she remembers like this moment in her time where, sorry, a moment in the past where her dad died, but that was it, that's what we saw, you know. And it's like, you know, there was no real kind of interest in the backstory or the world they were set in. There was basically just these 13 districts, and they went to this capital city that was full of folks that dressed like fucking Gary Glitter, because that's an attractive concept. So yeah, I never really got much of a feeling of it. It was quite an interesting universe. I mean, it wasn't like Blade Runner or anything where you're kind of like, you know, or was it? Fuck. I can't even remember the name of the city in Blade Runner, but it's got that kind of very neo-futuristic vibe to it, and this film didn't really, you know, it didn't make an attempt to flesh it out, and yeah, there was just a lot of characters. For a 2.5 hour film, they could have done a better job of fleshing out the majority of the other characters, and particularly in the bits where she was fighting other characters. There was characters that just appeared. Now, I know it would take a long time to flesh out 26 characters, and they only did it to some of them, but when she was fighting them and killing them, you didn't even care. I mean, like, there's obviously there'd been that guy who did made a baddie and the rest of them and stuff, but there was various characters that turned up at points that tried to do something and she just killed them, where you're just like, I don't even fucking remember who that was, you know? So that's not the right way to connect with your audience. But yeah, it seems that this film's going to be a bit of a box office success, despite, you know, and I've helped that, obviously, and despite what I said, but, and to be honest, no, it's not a bad film. It's not, well, it's not an awful film, but it's just been done better before, and for my money, I'd much rather go and see Battle Royale. Anyway, this has been an absolute rabble, because as I said, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm fucking shattered. I'm meant to be getting up in about 3 hours, and I've been drinking quite a bit as well, but aye, if you've got any questions about it, drop in the comments below, but other than that, have a good weekend of what's left of it. Ta-ta for now.